Hello students, today we are going to discuss about the sampling methods. In sampling means we are choosing some respondents from our desired sample, we are choosing our respondents from the population and we are taking or we are collecting data from those. Now sample design includes two parameters. First is a sample types of sampling and second is a sample size. Sample size is totally depend on what kind of population we are having, whether it is a finite population or whether it is infinite population. And after the calculation of sample size, we are deciding how we are going to collect the data from those samples. It based on the probability and non-probability. So on this basis, there are broad two types of sampling methods. First is a probability sampling and second is a non-probability sampling. So first we see probability sampling. Now in case of probability sampling, here we are observing a dais. Probability, the concept of probability is such like that each and every element from the population is having equal chance to get selected as a respondent. So here we are observing one dais on it. Dais is having 6 faces and corresponding number of dots on it. So each face is having equal opportunity to come at the upper side. It means each and every face is having equal probability to get selected. So similarly, in case of population, if each and every element or each and every respondent which includes in a population is having equal opportunity to get selected as a respondent, then we can say it is a probability sampling. So there are 4 types of probability sampling. First is a simple random sampling, second is a systematic sampling, third is a stratified sampling, and fourth is a cluster sampling. Let us see one by one. So first, simple random sampling. Now simple random sampling means for all population we are having a particular systematic method to get sample. So first, when we are thinking about the random sampling, so there are 2 types of random sampling. First is a with replacement and without replacement. So let's see that here we are observing one jar. If I want to get respondents from this jar, for example, all the pebbles or all the balls which are different colors, I wanted to choose a particular ball. If I chosen first, then the probability, suppose these are 100 balls, okay. So from 100 balls I am taking first ball, so the probability of first ball to get select is 1:100. Now with replacement means again this first ball I am replacing or I am placing again in the jar and I am choosing second ball. So for the second ball the probability again will be 1/100. Now in case of without replacement, what happened? We are selecting a one ball, okay. So first ball, for first ball probability will be 1/100 and we are not replacing that, means we are not again placing the same ball in the jar. We are placing that aside, okay, and then we are choosing second one. So for the second the probability will be 1/99 because the total number of balls in the jar will be 99. So on we are choosing the next one and denominator is keeping going on a change. So generally when we are collecting data in the case of industry, it may be customer feedback, it may be employability survey, or it can be employee survey within an industry. Generally we are taking the data on the without replacement. Then next is a systematic sampling. Suppose I am having the population as in 100 and I have to choose the 20 samples. So my ratio for the sample as to population, let's take that, okay, sample as to population. Suppose here we are getting the population as a 100, right? On screen we are getting that, and I am having sample size as a 20. So this ratio is 1:5. So each fifth observation or each fifth respondent will be included in my sample. Suppose I started with the first, okay. So first I have taken, then again next fifth, that is first, second, third, fourth and fifth. So sixth person will be my respondent, and so on. I'll collect the data from the 20 people from the population. So here I am collecting the data from the fifth place, 10. So here also we are observing that 5, 10. Okay. So here at the here also we are observing that 5, 10, 15. So here only the thing is where I will start my data collection. It is up to the researcher. Okay. So here the first step is we have to take the proportion of sample to population, then depend on this particular ratio how much number, okay, or which number will be my respondent, that I am going to fix as a respondent. And again the who will be my respondent, first respondent, that is up to the researcher. Means if I start with the 7th, so 7th from the 5th place, then again 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, the 12 will be my 5th respondent, and again so on. I will collect the data from these observations. So here again we are where to start point. Okay, start point, it is discussed by the, or it is decided by the researcher. Okay, it is up to researcher from where I will start. Generally this kind of systematic sampling is used on the economic survey. Suppose I am going to take the survey of a particular village. Okay, so there are suppose 10 lanes and some houses are there. So from each lane I have to collect the data. So from which lane I will start? So I have to I should know first the number of houses in the village, as well as after that I'll calculate my sample size, and I'll take the data, or I will take the ratio of that which I have told that sample as to proportion, and then I'll decide from which lane I am going to start. It may be 5th lane, it may be 4th lane, whatever. It is up to the researcher that from where my starting point will be. Then next is stratified random sampling. Now what is first of all strata means? Strata means we are dividing our population, or we are dividing our sample in a different groups, that each group is considered as a strata, which we are observing here. So if we consider the population, suppose these are number of employees which are working in an industrial unit, then each strata which is made here horizontally, that are nothing but various departments. Suppose this is a HR department, this is a finance department, this is marketing, and this is a production. Okay, so I have divided my population among these groups. It may be gender, it may be any economic group. Your population, it depends on your population, and it depends on the perception of the researcher that how the strata is going to be done in their research. Okay, so it may be for example summer internship program, people are generally going for, or students are generally going for the single business unit. So department wise they can divide their population. And one thing we should remember, whatever ratio of sample and proportion is there, that ratio will be similar with the strata also. Okay, so for example here I have the 100 number of employees and I need the 20 sample size from that. Okay, so this ratio is 1:5. Suppose in production department, out of these 100, 50 workers are working. Okay, so I have to mention, or I have to maintain 1:5 data. So if 50 workers are working in a production, then how much I have to select from the 50? That nothing but the X. So after calculation of this proportion, I'll get the value of x will be 10. So according to stratified random sampling, I'll collect the data from 10 employees from the production department. So we have to retain the ratio which is sample as to proportion for each and every strata. So accordingly, the ratio is nothing but the probability, and again we are following the probability in this case. Now next is a cluster sampling. Cluster sampling means cluster means collectively we are having the sample but at the different places. If we consider the IT sector in India, it is clustered in the Pune, Bangalore, Hyderabad and Gurgaon. So these are nothing but the cluster. Suppose we want to collect the data from the 100 respondents of IT sector in India, right? So we have to divide these population in the 4 different clusters that are nothing but the Pune, Bangalore, Hyderabad and Gurgaon. Okay. So according to that, we are collecting the proportion wise data from each and every cluster. Suppose Bangalore industry is the biggest IT industry in India. So biggest proportion will be from IT sector. So if we see the IT sector data, okay, suppose from the IT sector data, if we are having, okay, then this may be Pune, sorry, this may be Bangalore, this may be Pune, Hyderabad, then Gurugram is there, right? So all these are nothing but the cluster. So we are collecting with the same proportion from the cluster, right? So this was about the probability sampling. Now let's turn towards the non-probability sampling. Now non-probability sampling is totally up to the researcher as well as the judgment or the judges, or we can say the experts' opinion, right? So here we are not following any kind of proportion for the collection of the data. Now in case of non-probability sampling, again there are 4 types. First is a convenience sampling, second is a judgmental sampling, third is a quota sampling and fourth is a snowball sampling. Now here in the picture we are observing, this is nothing but, he is nothing but the researcher, okay, and these all are respondents. So first is, it is on the basis of convenience of researcher, okay, convenience in the sense convenience to get response from, it means though our population is worldwide spread, how much convenient to get the data from nearmost, or which is more and more convenient to get the response from the respondent, depend on that I will collect the data. For example, if I wanted to collect the response from the 100 MBA students, then what I will do, I'll go for the my institute students for the to cover that number of 100. If it is not possible, then I will go for the other institutes which are in within my city itself. Why? Because it is a convenient for me. I'll not go for the overall the world or overall the nation or even overall the state. Why? Because it is not at all convenient. If it is such a kind of case is there, then we can say it is a convenience sampling. Suppose I have to collect the 100 and the sample size, it is not also on the basis of proportionate, right? So why it is not proportionate? Because it is a totally up to the convenience of researcher, okay, and that's why it comes under non-probability sampling. Then again judgment sampling. Now here it is a researcher and it is a expert, okay. So according to expert, researcher is collecting the data from the respondents, means here expert opinion matters, okay. The collection or from where to collect the data is totally on the basis of the opinion of experts, and a researcher is collecting the data according to that. That is nothing but the judgmental sampling. Why? Because it is a depend on the judgment of the expert itself ki how much data will be sufficient, how much respondent size will be sufficient, and how much sample size will be convenient or will be sufficient for the research. It is totally on the judgment of the expert, and that is why it is called as a judgmental sampling. Then next is a quota sampling. It is a little bit like a stratified sampling which we have seen earlier, but we are dividing the population on the basis of different quota. It may be quota is not on the basis of suppose it may be departments, it may be gender, it may be annual income classifications, it may be your educational qualification, whatever. It is totally up to the researcher that how he is going to divide his samples, right? So here on screen there are different colors of balls are there, but if you observe, there is a no equal proportion in each and every color, right? So here we have chosen some number of balls, but from each and every quota, if we observe, the equal number of population is there of balls, but the number which is chosen from that quota is varying. In some it is a equal, in some it is a not. So only here target is to achieve sample size. Okay, target is only to achieve sample size, not on proportion. Okay, proportion base hota hai, proportion base it is not always there, but it is a proper representation of each and every quota, right? Means here only the target is to achieve sample size with the proper representation of each and every quota. It may be small representation, it may be large, but representation of quota is there. And again here there is a no any hard and fast rule that how much proportion will consider while selecting the samples. Then next is a snowball sampling. In case of snowball sampling, initially if we are having very few number of samples, and from that respondents we get some contacts of other respondents, we are communicating with that and we are collecting the data from that, and again we are getting some more numbers of respondents from the contacts of previous one. So such a kind of mechanism is there which is called as a snowball sampling. It is a similar mechanism with the snowball. For example, snowball, whenever we are making the ball of snow, initially it is of a small size. When we rolling that on the snow, some snow particles get attached with that, and the size of ball get bigger and bigger when it rolls in forward, right? So according to that, snowball sampling mechanism is also similar one. If initially I am having very small number of respondents, from their contact if I am getting more and more respondents, and where to stop, it is up to the researcher. Means suppose I got suppose I am searching or I am seeking for the survey of sports persons from overall Maharashtra or overall India, then what I will do, I'll collect the data from the people who are 2-3 people from my contacts. I'll get some contact details of other sport person from them. I'll approach to them, I'll collect data from them, and again I will seek for some more contact details of some other sport person. So according to that, my sample size will get bigger and bigger as I communicate with my respondents when I collect the data, right? So according to that, my sample size will get bigger and bigger, and when I will think that that much data will be sufficient as a researcher, then I will stop to collect the data. This is nothing but the snowball sampling. So student, here we have discussed about the probability sampling and non-probability sampling and the types of each of them. So till today, this is the part of the syllabus which has been covered. So today we'll stop here. In next, we'll see some different aspects of the research methodology. Thank you.